Hello and welcome to this review. This will be my review of the Kershaw OD-1. Okay, now this differs from the OD-2. It's larger, it's made of better materials, and it obviously costs more. Okay, but we'll go through some specifications first of all. The overall length of this knife, extended, deployed, is 7.1 inches or 18.2 centimetres. The blade length is 2.9 inches or 7.6 centimetres. The cutting edge, here or there, is again 2.9 inches or 7.4 centimetres. And the weight is about 3.2 ounces or 91.1 grams. Okay, so as you can see, it deploys with this little flipper stud. Talk about handle scales first of all. They're a combination of G10 and 410 stainless steel. Okay, there's actually 410 stainless steel on both sides, but then you have a G10 overlay, okay, on the top there. The grippy factor, I suppose, the grippy factor is about medium to low grip. It's not that grippy. I'd say it's about the same, probably about the same as a Spyderco Tenacious, okay, in terms of grip. The pocket clip, it's an okay pocket clip, quite short and stout. It is oppositeable, I suppose, for tip up, tip down carry only. Right side, you cannot affix a pocket clip on the other side. Okay, and it's worth mentioning, look at the huge gap there. There'd be a less of a gap on the top if you decided to carry this tip down. Okay, so it would be a deeper riding knife if you wish to do that. Okay, the liners are not skeletonized, okay, especially this big chunk of steel in there, not skeletonized at all. I feel that if they did do that, it would reduce the weight considerably, okay, but they haven't. There we go. The deployment, it is a flipper only. There are no thumb studs, no other way of getting this knife out. I'm not sure you can inertial drop it. I don't really want to mess with doing that with the flipper, but there we go. It's a flipper stud deployment method. Okay, there are some knarling on there on the stud. There is some knarling on the stud. Okay, it deploys very fast. Okay, that is very fast deployment, as fast as a Speed Safe, I would say. But the beauty about this is this flipper stud, push it, and then it just discreetly transforms into the actual scale. Okay, a nice feature. Okay, that's the overall design that they've gone for. Okay, the lockup is it is a frame lock. Okay, now it's quite early though. The lockup, as you can see, it's probably about 40% over. Okay, it does have an over travel disc there, in case you pushing it too far back. Okay, so it's a solid lockup, solid frame lock there. Okay, the ergonomics, it's quite comfortable. Okay, it is quite comfortable. It fits all my fingers. I've got a large hand, extra large hand. There is some jimping just on the locking bar. Okay, yeah, it kind of helps a little bit, but as you can see, there's just a smooth area from the where your finger would sit, so you've just got to be really careful. Still, I wouldn't put this through heavy cutting tasks at all. No way, just for fear of the hand slipping up. I mean, broken bones and things, they can just heal, whereas obviously a sliced finger and things, that could be surgery, it could be stitches, well, you name it. We won't go there. But anyway, there is no jimping on the spine or there. I suppose you could use that as a bit of traction, but I would have loved to have seen some there. It just lends itself to that. Okay, so there we go. That's that. The fit and finish is very good. It is made in the USA, okay, and it is a Lee Williams design, okay. It's a good design, isn't it, I suppose, for everyday carry. The fit and finish, the screws, the torque screws, are not flush with the handle scale. Would have been nicer if they were, but they're not, although the pivot screw is, okay. It does have a lanyard hole there, a very small one, and it is a partially flow-through design, quite easy to clean and things, and there's nothing that sits in there other than that spacer, okay. The blade steel, the blade shape is very useful. It's got a nice tip to it, very useful blade shape that, okay. And the steel is kind of a 14C28N, so it's a medium steel, okay. It's much better than, say, your 8CR13 MOV or something like that. So it will keep an edge. It's quite hard, okay. It is a hard steel, and it will keep an edge for a while, and you can get this very sharp as well. Alright, I think it's an excellent everyday carry knife, okay. It could be a bit lighter, but if you find this, it really depends. I mean, for everyday carry, if you're going for Kershaw, you've really got to choose between this and a Kershaw Leek, okay. Now, personally, I would choose the Leek, okay, because you get the speed safe, and if you get one with this steel, then you're laughing, really, because the Leek is lighter, alright, but there we go. So this is kind of an alternative to that, okay. Now I'll do some size comparisons, alright, but first I bought this knife for about £50. I think they're about £50 or £60 here in the UK. I think in America they're about $50, $40, something like that. For the money, it's quite decent, I suppose. It's got okay steel, the same steel as the Kershaw Skyline, and for the price, I prefer it to the Skyline in terms of the flipper, and but in terms of the feel, I prefer the Skyline. So really, if they could do this flipper on the Skyline that folds in or speed assist, then Kershaw would be laughing as well. But there we go. So that's the knife. I'm just going to do some size comparisons. Okay. So obviously, of course, next to some Spydercos, first of all, I've got the Spyderco Tenacious. Okay. For size comparison, Tenacious is just a little bit larger, and then I've got a Spyderco UK PK, okay, and the UK PK is actually roughly the same size, probably a little bit larger as well, okay. So there's some size comparisons with the Kershaw OD-1, okay. I'll do some size comparisons with a couple of other Kershaws. I've got the Kershaw Skyline. This is a knife that I'd compare it to, just because of the blade steel and things. And I do have a Leek as well. Well, a Kershaw Leek, of course. And as you can see, it's very similar size to the Leek. Okay, they're both really everyday carries. I just do feel. I prefer the blade shape, and I prefer the feel to the Skyline, but I just prefer the frame lock and the deployment mechanism of the OD-1. Okay, but anyway, there's the size comparisons. Okay, now, like I say about how much the knife costs, I think it is a great little everyday carry knife. Okay, obviously not here in the UK, but everywhere else it seems like a nice knife to perform all of your duties, and it's got quite decent steel as well. Okay, so that was just my review of the Kershaw OD-1, and please do comment, rate and subscribe. Thanks very much for watching. Take care.